Hey, welcome everyone. We're going to talk about Christmas memories, or specific, I guess our favorite Christmas memories, because it's Christmas time. But before we do that, let's thank the sponsor of this video. Looking for the perfect Christmas gift? Well, look no further than Ridge Wallet. Let's face it, most of us guys, we don't upgrade our wallets. We stick with the same one for a long time. Well, now I've upgraded. I love this thing. It's small, but it's tough, and it has RFID blocking, so people can't pickpocket you digitally, which I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently it's a thing, and this blocks that. Plus, this thing hurts my butt cheeks all day when I'm sitting on it. This doesn't. It holds up to 12 cards, has room for cash, and has a lifetime warranty. There are over 30 colors and styles. I love this thing, but you don't even have to take my word for it. Listen to the over 30,000 5-star reviews. Now you can get 10% off of this right now, plus you get free shipping and free returns if you don't like it. All you gotta do is go to ridge.com/chodes. Yes, our code is chode, the chode code. It's pretty fitting, right? Check them out today. This is number one for me. This is when we got the Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo was lit.
So you remember that?
Super Nintendo was lit. I remember
because you were like,
I remember you always had to spoil everything for everybody. He would go and grab boxes and start shaking them, and then my grandmother would like fly over and like try to beat him in the head, and he'd just take off running. And it was even a thing, like we knew as grandkids not to pick up the boxes. Like, do not pick up the boxes and shake them, because they knew we were gonna figure this out, right? And Billy would creep over there. My grandmother would be like in the kitchen, like cooking, and he'd be like, "Christopher, watch the hallway." And I'd be like, "All right." So I'd be like James Bond style, like, "You're good." And Billy would be over there like, he's like, "That's a definitely, look at the size box. It's definitely a Super Nintendo." Like, we had it all figured out. Like, it was so bad. It was so bad that my grandmother, to throw us off, started wrapping things in like, if we got like a video game or something, she would put it in a different, like a massive box, like big box, and wrap it for a little bitty Nintendo game just to throw us off. And all those presents would be sitting underneath the tree, and we would come over and we'd be like, Billy'd be like, "No, we don't get no games." And you remember it, don't you? Yeah. Billy would be like, "Oh, we're not getting any games this Christmas. This blows."
So yeah, I got Super Star Wars one year, and they put it in a big box filled with wood. I didn't like that.
You got suckered. You got had. But that's great, though, that they did that for us, because they legitimately were like, "No, we can't have them guessing on what they're getting. We have to." But
to be fair, I'm pretty sure that the year of the Super Nintendo,
she didn't wrap that in a bigger box.
Well, but we knew, because we had to all agree. Because here the deal was, my parents were not going to buy me a Super Nintendo alone. Your parents weren't going to do it, but my grandparents were like, "Okay, there's 4 grandkids. Instead of buying everybody each individual thing, we're just going to pull the money together and get a Super Nintendo for everyone."
Best investment ever.
But that was an agreement beforehand. Everyone had to agree,
and they knew what they were doing, and, too.
Even my sister, who wasn't into video games, I was like, "Listen here, you better."
You're asking for this whether you like it or not, and you already know that we're not going to let you play this. So
I was like, "Look, I'm sure there's going to be some Barbie games on the Super Nintendo down the road."
I don't even think you sold it as down the road. You were like, "There's girl games," and she was just like, she was like, "Yeah, okay."
I was really worried about my sister because like, "Don't you ruin this for us. Don't you ruin this." Because my mom and dad were not. My mom actually even said that, "You already got a Nintendo. Why do you need a Super Nintendo?" It wasn't going to happen.
What? You already have an NES. Why do you need a Super NES? Because, Mom, you don't understand.
She was even like reading these like newspaper reports of like, because that was literally what everyone was saying. There was like editorials and stuff, and like these moms writing, "Well, you know, my son has a Nintendo and all these games, and I refuse to buy him a completely new system."
What a horrible mother!
And they were upset that the old games.
Mother.
They were upset with the old games wouldn't work with the new system. So you'd have all those. Basically, it was like all those old games are worthless now. I mean, they're not going to be. So they didn't understand like the whole. That was the best Christmas ever. That was my favorite Christmas.
1991. I'm not gonna lie, that was
Yeah.
that was if you could right now get in a time machine and go back to 91 as not an adult but us in 91 and relive that Christmas all over again. I don't even know why I'm asking this. You would do it all over again. I would do it, and I would do it.
I would do it again. I would send myself messages. Like, or I would no. You know.
Start collecting now. Start collecting now.
Wait. Are you saying we're back in our like old kid bodies?
Yes.
We basically take them over. So it's not like creepy me looking through the window and saying, "Hey kid, come here."
No.
It's
we're our old selves.
Okay, so I would have to rethink that strategy. Okay, I know what I would do. I would write a long ass letter, and then I'd hide it in a box and bury it in the yard, and then I don't know. I'd write something on the wall or something like somewhere where it said, read this note in the year 1995 because you would have. You're
messing up the time space and continuum.
No. But are you saying like, okay, so here's my question. Here's my question. And this is key.
Okay.
All right. So when we go back to the future, right, and de-inhabit our old bodies,
right,
do our young bodies remember what just happened? Or do they just go on living their lives like they were? Or do they remember all the things that happened when...
Okay, so we wouldn't know. So that's like some Umbrella Academy shit.
Right. Would our memories embed onto the young kids?
So you're saying that would be real creepy if it did. That would be real creepy if it did.
Or at least
I would have been the worst kid ever if that would have happened.
Or at least like the next day they wake up and I was like, man. We talk to each other. That was really weird. You know, that yesterday when our old selves just inhabited us like entities. Then we were possessed. That was pretty weird.
This is going way down a dark rabbit hole. I just said like to go as a kid relive Christmas in 91, and now we're talking about our future memories, and man, that really opened up a wormhole, if you will, of. I so wish I could cuss on this video right now. I don't know. I think the way I would explain it is, would you go back to 91?
Oh, we're still on the time travel?
Okay. I thought we can't take any previous knowledge. So right now it's like you can go back to Christmas 91 for 5 days, right? So leading up Christmas and then a couple days after, all right?
And I don't remember.
And you have 5 days. But once you hit that, you're not going to remember anything from future tense. And then you get to experience that, relive that again, and then 5 days is up and you have to come back.
Yeah, I would do it. I'd get to spend 5 days with my grandfather, who's no longer around.
And that's why I said I already knew what you were going to say. But
yeah.
But it would be cool if think about it. If we went back to 91 knowing what we know now, we could alter the course of time.
Yeah, we could, like on a global scale. We could really mess some stuff up.
So we need a hot tub and we need some Chernobyl, is what you're saying.
And Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Do you remember what game we've played first? Because
Super Mario World, it came with it. It wasn't Super Mario World? Wait a minute. Let me think. My 34-year-old brain is digging real deep right now.
What were you like, 6?
Yeah. So the Super Nintendo came with Super Mario World,
but we got a couple of games with it. Because Grandma was like, we have a little bit left, and I can get a couple of games. So what do you think? And I was reading Nintendo Power, and I was like, well, these would be good.
I'm really. Was it Pilot Wings? It was Pilot Wings?
Yeah.
Damn.
More specifically, it was skydiving.
Dang.
Skydiving. So that was the first thing I ever played on Super Nintendo on Christmas Eve, because we
got to open up
Christmas Eve, because that's when we hung out with the grandparents and stuff. It was on Christmas Eve. So
I remember your dad tripping out so hard over the biplane, like the way it was like you could see the runway, and he was just like he thought that was the coolest thing that he had ever seen.
Well, yeah, because that was the most sophisticated gaming thing, and
He was like,
I mean, there's PC stuff, but we didn't really.
It wasn't like that.
Yeah, like we had an Atari ST, and it had a flight simulator. But that was it just seemed much better, that particular game, as opposed to the version of Flight Simulator we would play on the Atari ST every once in a while. Flight Simulator on the Atari ST was ding 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 ding. It was so slow and laggy
and Pilot Wings is more. I mean, it is kind of like pixelated a little,
It's pixelated, but at least it plays smooth. It plays
smooth.
It plays smooth. It's controlled a lot better. It's not a simulator. It's more,
The jetpack thing was like, when I saw the jetpack level of Pilot Wings, I was like, this might be the coolest thing I've ever seen up until that point. I was like, a jetpack? We don't have jetpacks. So I'm like, this guy's legs are like moving around, and I'm like, jetpacks? Who has jetpacks? This doesn't make sense.
Well, the thing that blew me away was when we were doing the skydiving, the fact that the wind. I never heard audio like that in a game before, where the wind was rushing through and it felt like you were actually skydiving. I was like, but that skydiving on Pilot Wings was the very first thing I ever played on Super Nintendo.
So, going back to Pilot Wings, it's funny because Pilot Wings is still, to this day, one of my favorite games to play on Super. You know what's crazy is all the games that we had, and this might be due to your Nintendo Power knowledge, we literally had like the staples of the best Super Nintendo games in my humble opinion. Like the list of like the box of games that we had were like, those are still the ones that I enjoy playing to this day. Not right. And I found a few that I like playing as an adult, but the ones that we grew up with were. It was like the golden vault of.
Well, yeah, because at
So I remember it was Turtles in Time.
Well,
Castlevania 4,
the thing is,
Contra.
Whenever somebody would have a Christmas,
we would ask for a new game.
We'd ask for a game. So, and then a birthday. A lot of times a birthday too, right? So, through the course of 4 or 5 years, when we were just heavily into the Super Nintendo, we accumulated UN Squadron, Castlevania 4, Contra 3.
You brought up UN Squadron. I completely forgot about UN Squadron. Like
that was another one on Christmas Eve.
Completely forgot about UN Squadron until you streamed it the other night, and I was like, dude, it was like this flashback, like, pew. I was like,
you don't have it?
I don't have it. I don't have, and if I would have remembered it, I would have been looking for that for a long time ago. I completely forgot about UN Squadron until I saw you playing it, and I was like,
that's how to look for at the flea market.
I was like, how did I forget about UN Squadron? I'm like, dude, that game's rough, bro. It gets pretty tough. But we used to play that, like, dude, like this is how like kiddie we were when we had UN Squadron. I remember like grabbing all the pillows off the couch. I dropped the F-bomb. I'm sorry to edit that out. Coin drop. I remember grabbing all the pillows off the couch, and we would make like this makeshift cockpit and act like we were flying like dude, I'm serious. Like that's what it was for us back then. It's just crazy. It's like, man, those were.
I don't remember that.
Those were the best years, dude. Yes.
The cockpit.
Yeah, we had like the pillows like stuffed up, and we would act like we were in the cockpit flying like the jet. Like,
oh, are you talking about those big giant brown?
Yes, the ones that you would. I'm pretty sure you knocked me out with one night. UN Squadron. What other ones did we get on Christmas? We got UN Squadron on Christmas.
We had UN Squadron, Castlevania 4.
Super Mario came
with it.
And then we got Castlevania 4 on Christmas. Are you sure?
Positive. So what she did, because I think my mom chipped in a little, because they were like, because I think I didn't barely. I think I barely even got anything from my parents that year because even my grandma was like, yeah, let's just. So she convinced her to kind of like throw in a little more. So it was almost like that was the entire Christmas.
Yeah,
right there.
I remember that. So I'll agree.
So it was the Super Nintendo, and then we got 3 games with it. And so what she did is she took how you were saying, disguising the game. So obviously we know what a Super Nintendo box looks like. I still even that if that was our first Super Nintendo Christmas, so to speak, I would still know what the shape of the boxes were. Because you've been to the store, you've seen Toys R Us, you know what the boxes look like. So what she did is she took all 3 of those games, UN Squadron, Castlevania 4, and Pilot Wings, and put them bookend with each other, and then wrapped them.
So technically we got 4. So it was UN Squadron, Pilot Wings, Castlevania, and Super Mario, because that's what came with the Super Nintendo.
Right. So these 3 games were like in this elongated box or whatever, and it was like, what the heck is this? And so
if we would have known now if we only knew then what we know now, I would have left the Castlevania factory sealed. Actually, I would have left them all sealed with the Super Nintendo.
Why the hell would you do that? We wouldn't be able to play them.
Dude, just think about having like the box. What happened to the Super Nintendo box?
Well, we threw them away.
Gee, oh, that makes my stomach turn, dude. Don't tell me that. I know that's what happened, but
more than likely, what happened was
you still wait a minute.
We were like, oh, hey, we want to play this. Rip the box open and just throw it away.
Yeah, like a bunch of chodes, but you still have our original Super Nintendo, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, I know. You said it's not working too well.
But
okay.
Here's the problem.
Wait a minute. So he has the Super Nintendo.
No. Okay. So here's the problem with that. Whenever you're doing game chasing, you collect, you buy lots. Hey, I'm selling a bunch of Super Nintendo games. It comes with a Super Nintendo, so you get Super Nintendos too. Over the course of years, I've accumulated Super Nintendos.
No, you're not about to say this. You don't know which one is which. You moron.
I have 3.
You idiot.
I don't know which one is which.
Oh, you idiot. Are you freaking kidding me?
Well, it's not like we carved our name into it.
I would think that would press a...
I've moved. When you're packing things... Hey, I know which copy of UN Squadron's ours, though. It has an effed up label, so I know that at least.
Wait a minute. You still have our original copies of the games?
The UN Squadron, yeah. I don't know what happened to the other ones.
I really just want to play King Griffey Jr. right now and just beat you until you turn off the console. I hit reset and storm out of the room. That was a whole nother Christmas. Because, the holidays, growing up, you don't lose touch, but you're not around everybody as much. So every Thanksgiving and Christmas, it was the battle of the chodes. It was me and Billy. We knew that Thanksgiving and Christmas was, I've been playing this game all year long. I've been sharpening my skills, and I've got to go and just berate Billy and beat him so badly.
Well, except that never happened.
It did happen.
Oh, no.
It did happen. It did happen. And Billy was the sorest loser ever growing up. If he started losing a little bit, he would immediately get flustered, and the second that he knew there was no point of no return, he would just get up and either turn the console off or hit reset. I'm surprised the Super Nintendo worked as many times as you thrashed the reset button and just walked out of the room. Or just turned it off. Just blam!
It doesn't happen very often.
The Mortal Kombat 2 thing was happening, you were looking up fatalities and I'm just gonna jack Chris up the next time we play. You came to Grandpa Papa's house I've got a mission. That's to eat turkey and humiliate Chris at video games. It was every holiday. I still like the Chippendales picture that we have of me opening up Chippendales on Christmas morning NES. How old was I? I couldn't.
You were maybe 6 6
Dude,
or
this
7.
on NES? Chippendales on NES? Yeah, I was...
Yeah, you're still getting NES games, and that same Christmas I was opening up Super Star Wars on the Super Nintendo, and I think that came out in '93.
See?
So, yeah, the Christmas in '93, that was probably what that was, and you're still getting, which I guess is pretty cool, because like that was nothing that like I ever had as a kid, and I rented it once, so you have way more memories with that than I do.
So it went. We had the NES. You, previous to me, had Atari. Grandpapa bought you your Atari?
No, it wasn't my Atari. It was theirs.
So Grandpapa had an Atari. Like they bought it for themselves to play.
No, for your dad. They bought the Intellivision and the Atari for your dad.
I never knew that.
Because your dad blew out his knee in basketball. And went through a big depression and stuff, and they wanted to take his mind off of it, so they got him an Atari. It was either either the Atari or the Intellivision. It was one of those. So that was the reason.
Okay, this is the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah, your dad and my dad were the ones that were playing the Intellivision and the Atari.
Okay, and then we got the NES,
and then it was like me and Gran. But yeah, literally my first video game memories is your dad and my dad playing basketball on Intellivision, and bowling and boxing and the sports games.
Learn something new every day. I did not know that. I did not know that. We've never talked about that.
Yeah, your dad couldn't play basketball anymore, so he was like, I guess the next best thing was Atari.
So what preceded the Super Nintendo was the Nintendo 64.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact that we had one over there.
Yeah, because Gran bought it for herself.
You right. She but I remember that. She bought the Nintendo 64 but she didn't like the way that the camera angles, so she still played the Super Nintendo.
Right. Cuz our grandma was a big gamer. She liked Mario games. We weren't coming over very often.
She loved Mario games. She didn't like them. She loved Mario games.
But she wanted the new one on. She just had a stroke, so like her hands, it was hard for her to hold the Super Nintendo controller with her left hand because it wouldn't work as well. So when the N64 came out, the controllers are much bigger. She
oddly shaped.
Yeah, but she was like, well, it's a bigger controller. I might have a better or easier time.
Yeah.
To play at. But it's obviously a lot more sophisticated, and with the 3D, I don't think it was like she just couldn't get into it and it didn't work.
I think Super Nintendo was always her like go-to. She loved Super Mario World.
Yeah. Mario World, Burger Time, Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, that was it. But yeah, the 64 was over there, and I remember. I didn't even get it. Our grandmother got an N64 probably a good solid year before I ever got one, and so I guess that was her Christmas present to herself. But,
and then I got one at my house.
Yeah, I eventually got one at my place. Just took a while.
Damn it.
Anyway, thanks for watching. That was our our attempt at a Christmas video. Of Christmas memories.
There's just too many gaming memories, period.
Too many.
Too many.
Thank you for watching.